Absolute value transformations. Graph the following and state where 3 points on the basic graph transform to. The equation is f of x equals absolute value of the absolute value of 1/2 x minus 1 cubed minus 2 minus 4. This problem may look challenging at first, but if you break it down, 2 can do it.
Several bad puns later.
So to make the problem easier, we can factor out the 1/2 in the equation to make it the absolute value of the absolute value of 1/2 times x minus 2 cubed minus 2 minus 4. So the basic graph of this equation is x cubed, and 3 points on x cubed would be 1, 1, negative 1, negative 1, and 0, 0. So in order to find where the x values on the basic graph transform to, we would first multiply by 2, and then we would add 2. So to find where the y values on the basic graph transform to, we would first subtract 2, and then because of the absolute value signs, we would make all the y values positive, and then once we make all the values positive, we would subtract 4, and then because of the second absolute value, we would make all the y values positive again. So for 1, 1, we would multiply 1 by 2, and then we would add 2, so we would have 4, and then for the y's, we would subtract 2, which would be negative 1, and then we make it positive, so it's positive 1, and then subtract 4, get negative 3, and make it positive again to get positive 3. And then same thing for negative 1, negative 1, we multiply negative 1 by 2, and get negative 2, and add 2 to get 0. And then for y's, we would subtract 2 from negative 1 and get negative 3, make it positive, get positive 3, and then subtract 4 from positive 3, get negative 1, and then make it positive to get positive 1. And for 0, 0, we would multiply 0 by 2, which is 0, and add 2 should be 2. And then we subtract 2 to get negative 2, make it positive, positive 2, subtract 4, negative 2, and make it positive again to get positive 2. And those are the 3 points on the graph, on the basic graph, that transform to. So in order to graph this, I've graphed the basic graph, and we'll start with the x's, so we'll multiply the x values by 2, and then move the whole graph to the right 2.
A few moments later.
So now that I've graphed the x value transformations, we can start the y value transformations. So we'll start by moving the whole graph down 2.
3 days later.
And now because of the absolute values, we make all the y values positive. So this point to here, this point here, this point to there, this point to here, and then and there's that. And after that, we move all the points down 4. And finally, after we've moved all the points down 4, we make all the y values positive. So this point would be here, this point here, this point here, and this point here.
3 weeks later.
And once you've connected all the points, your graph should look like this.